The Gameday Broadcast Network is proud to present Baseball Media Day, hosted by the Ballpark, Loudoun. Baseball Media Day is brought to you by Capital Closets, a perfect solution for all of your storage needs. By Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. Visit Robin O'Connor and her team the next time you have to get back in the game. And by Finnegan's Grill and Irish Pub, the best sports pub and grill in Ashburn.
Hi, this is Billy Emerson, the head baseball coach at St. Paul VI Catholic High School in Chantilly, Virginia. And talk a little bit about our season last year. We had a very young group last year. For the majority of the season, we were starting about 5 or 6 sophomores, and at one point 5 sophomores and a freshman. So a good quality young group coming back from that season. We did have a pretty good year last year, even with a young group. We won 15 games. We ended up finishing 15-12. We were third in the WCAC in the regular season, but we were tied with good counsel, so we lost that tiebreaker with them head-to-head. So we were the 4 seed. We ended up losing we got kind of upset in the first round by Gonzaga, who was the 5 seed, and they went on to win the WCAC. We also qualified for VISAA, our state tournament, and St. Chris from down in Richmond beat us in the quarterfinal of the state tournament. So, made it, put ourselves in good position. A little young, a little bit of bad luck here and there. Needed a bounce, needed a couple of breaks, and I think coming back now into this year with all that experience, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape to compete again. I think a lot of those close losses last year just have to do with experience and youth, and I think just the natural process of maturation with our players is going to make a difference this year too. The other thing that's going to make a difference, we have a group that's pretty driven, a really good, hard-working group. Guys have done a lot in the weight room this winter. Everybody's a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. Guys have worked hard swinging the bat, our pitchers getting themselves ready, and defensively, pretty much everything. So I think we're in good shape. We have only 5 seniors this year. It's a good group of guys. They're all hard-working guys. I'd say Jaime Perez, who you may see here, is the senior that's a returner who played the most out of that senior class. He's going to be important for us on the mound, and you're also probably going to see him in left field a little bit. We do have a college commit in our senior class, Michael Vertino, who's going to Notre Dame College. We have 5 in the junior class. We have Tyler Rowling, who's a second baseman, who's going to be going to Penn State. Logan Eisenrich is a pitcher, Virginia Tech commit. Jackson Soroy is our shortstop. He's a UVA commit. Tyler Russ plays first base and is a right-handed pitcher, one of our top returning arms. He's going to the Air Force Academy. And then our center fielder, who also pitches a little bit too, Alex Peltier, is an East Carolina commit. So pretty strong group in that junior class. But I think we've got a few sophomores as well who I think are going to be contributors. And again, our senior class with their experience and leadership is going to help us in a lot of different ways. So pretty excited about the group. We got a lot of youth, and we have a lot of young talent, and it's something that if we do things the right way, we take things seriously, we work hard at it, and everybody looks after each other, player to player, coach to coach. I think we have a few years of fun ahead of us, and the opportunity to compete for some championships. In terms of big games, I know that was one of the topics here. They're all big. We have a 26-game regular season schedule this year. We're allowed 1 extra game because there's a school that's trying to come into the WCAC, so we're allowed to play an extra game to play them on a trial basis. And we're playing 3 sometimes 4 or 5 games a week. So it's a little bit different schedule in the private school world, which is why that depth that we have is very, very important for us to be able to survive. So I don't think I could, list one game being bigger over the other. We do have some traditional rivals within our conference. Typically the teams that have made it to the championship or won the championship the most over the past couple decades. I mean, it's the usual suspects in the WCAC. So, we'd like to think we're a part of that. So those games will all be big, but it never really seems to be a night off in the WCAC. And the same thing goes with some of our VIS AA opponents that we're taking on. People like Benedictine and Collegiate and Flint Hill. A lot of good schools on our schedule. So we'll be tested early and we'll be tested often, but we're definitely excited about it.
Well, Coach, let me start with this, if I can speak. What is it about the game of baseball that makes it sort of a unique sport in teaching young men about life?
I think that's a great question, and I hope I have a good answer for it. Really, from my perspective, I feel like baseball mirrors life so much because you've got to be prepared, and then you've got to battle through some long periods of inactivity where you're waiting for opportunities, you're waiting for something to happen. If you lose focus and then that opportunity presents itself, it's kind of the same thing as life. So that's really the biggest thing that I feel is great about the game of baseball is it just mirrors our daily lives and the things that we're going after in life. So I don't think there's any other sport where you could say that happens on that level. And then the other thing is, and we talk to our guys about this a lot, look, when you're on the mound and you got the ball in your hand, all eyes are on you. When you're in the batter's box, all eyes are on you. When the ball's hit to you, all eyes are on you. So there's nowhere to hide on the baseball field. It can be a very humbling game, and again, it's all about preparation and being able to focus and be ready for your opportunities.
Hey, Coach, Bob Duncan from the Gameday Broadcast Network. You mentioned that you got a lot of young talent, and you rattled off some college commits to some pretty big-name programs over there. 5 seniors coming back. So what are some of the goals that you might have for your team coming forward into this season?
I think the biggest thing is for us to try to be consistent and move on from game to game. Like I said before, we have a schedule that's sometimes 4 and 5 games a week. It's at a minimum, it's 3. So we got to have a short memory, good or bad. We got to take care of business on a daily basis and then get ready for the next game. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that we're trying to make sure that we're ready to do is be consistent so that we don't miss out on opportunities, because it's a game of inches, and one little mistake here or there can cost you. So we're trying to find a way to make less mistakes than the other team and capitalize on every opportunity that we can. And I think if we do that, I think we can be pretty good.
I'm going to follow up on my first question with this. Baseball is a game of routine and ritual almost. How important to you is it that players sort of learn how to comport themselves on the field, in the bench, that part of the game?
Yeah, it is a game of ritual, and I've used the word focus several times here. I think that's part of the focus, because again, like I mentioned before, you have to be ready when the opportunity comes, and you might be in left field one day and you don't get a ball hit to you until the 7th inning. And if you're not ready for that, then that's going to cost you. That's going to cost our ball club. So I love for our guys to get into routines. We try to build routines. We try to foster that. But at the same time, it's not something that we as coaches really want to choreograph. The guys have to understand what makes them do what they do at a high level in this game. That's the first thing that's difficult. And then the really hard part is finding a way to repeat that week after week, game after game, at bat after at bat, pitch by pitch. So that's kind of where we're trying to push our guys to help them prepare themselves. And again, at the end of this all, baseball is going to come to an end for every one of these guys. We'll have some guys that get to play 4 more years after they play at Paul VI, and we may have some guys that are blessed enough with the ability to go and play after college. But it's going to come to an end for us at some point. So I really truly believe that a lot of the things that we teach in the game are things that they'll be able to carry into their lives beyond baseball. When as students, as young professionals, as husbands, as fathers, so forth and so on. So, those are things that we really think about and take into account with the way we run our program.
Coach, as a private school in the WCAC, you kind of have a different dynamic in terms of what you see in players from around the area. How would you describe how has the talent in the Northern Virginia region and area grown over the last several years, in your opinion?
There's a lot of talent here. I think we're fortunate to live in an area where we have a lot of access to high quality training and equipment and technology and everything else that goes along with that. And when you talk about the WCAC, or you talk about the Northern region, or just Northern Virginia baseball in general, there are a ton of programs at a high level. I feel like our conference does have a really strong reputation of having a lot of good players, having a lot of teams that have been nationally ranked recently, and historically, and producing guys in the draft and things like that. But it's not just us. I mean, I think this whole area just overall is really, in the past, say, 20 years or so, jumped up to just the next level in terms of the kind of baseball players that are coming out of here. And we got, the track record speaks for itself. Look at all the schools that all these guys are going to from various high schools, whether it's private schools, public schools, whatever. I mean, this is it's a hotbed of baseball talent. A lot of kids coming out of here.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. You've got some really interesting insights we appreciate, and good luck this season. My pleasure, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting us, and hopefully we'll see you out at our ballpark. We call it the Scotty. So come on out and catch a game. Like I said before, you can't beat the price of admission at our place. It's free. So thanks again, guys.
This presentation of Game Day Baseball Media Day has been brought to you by the Ballpark Loudoun, the newest home for baseball training, team parties, and corporate events in Loudoun County, Virginia. Come live the experience. To watch more of Game Day Baseball Media Day, visit the Game Day Nation Facebook page at facebook.com/Game Day Broadcast and on Twitter at GBN Mobile.